our exact why, but but she's doing well in real estate. But I guess people, minds and dark, people are up all the time in the night time anymore. So, yeah.
Eh.
I tell you, I thought, God, it scared me at first. I thought, no, she's now checking all her stuff, you know. So I don't feel alone like I'm the only one that doesn't sleep more than 3 hours before at a time, you know. So you do good.
And Dr. Boxlock, just very quickly before I let you go, is there any hope in terms of research for families who are hearing this information?
Okay.
Right, a third of the patients actually have a genetic mutation that predisposes them to developing frontotemporal dementia. The other 2/3, there's really no medical cause, and so that's why research in this disorder is very much needed. What happens is the treatments that are given
I'll just remember so much. Well, Jerry Wilson, man, what's the guy's name that killed himself after he did the roof on the shop?
Spring break might be a couple months away, but travel prices are
already climbing. He put the roof on the shop. Nice Spanish job. You don't remember him? You don't? After he finished it, he went on still show. I don't know him. I never just saw him. He didn't have a clue that Jerry said he ever thought he had that in his mind, but yeah. Because I've been going through stuff and throwing stuff away that, you know, I've got it all done. And I just got to thinking when I locked the door last night, I thought, who was that guy? Who was, I don't know, and he did a great job in less than 2 days.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling,
I'll miss him. He always texts me, and I don't get turned on as much because I know she's real beautiful and rolling and going and figure all. She probably doesn't have a moment yet.
Now Katie needs braces. Maybe try switching
your car
insurance to Progressive. You save hundreds.
Oh, she is. Beautiful, busy woman. I hate to say it, she's a woman now, of course she is. Time like the dog.
I said the exact same thing. Someday when you're a father, you'll understand.
I know she does everything. She impressed me with Halloween, I tell you. She's just adorable. I miss him so. I do.
Introducing Masterful Allergy.
I know you do. What did he say?
Among other allergy sprays, take hours. Now with Masterful Best Allergy Relief.
Yeah.
Masterful Go.
She is fearless. Hearts on the line. The pink silhouette. She can leap off her line. Comfortable in shapewear fabric, she moves the confident.
Of course. And he always does, and he tells me, he's always texting me. And I know he's busy too because in Molly getting to be about 14 or somewhere in there. That age her. She's been pretty, or she is pretty. All in Molly. She's gorgeous. I mean, it's time for Dad to step in there. There'll be some.
Thanks, Carlsbad, for watching KOVR TV. Our KOV Eyewitness News 4.
Good morning, 11:22 right now. Across the country, including here in our state, the kids are back in class after multiple active shooter calls at high schools. Turns out all of those calls were fake. A coordinated hoax that has been happening over the past few days. Yesterday,
he's got the right
shooting at
tool.
Volcano Vista High School, an out-of-state number, and officers made contact with the school, but they didn't report any shootings. And that's not all. Rio Rancho police got a call about a shooting at Bernalillo High School. When officers responded, Same thing.
It's
After that,
just
it was
a
Rio
big
Rancho High
shock.
School. Other schools in the city were all put on lockdown as a precaution. The same thing happened in Santa Fe. Police say they got a call about multiple students being shot. But yesterday's school in Santa Fe wasn't even in session because of parent-teacher conferences.
Well, he always had,
and now all of these law enforcement agencies are working with federal law enforcement to investigate those fake calls.
He said to me then, he said it's going to be a sharp young man. I remember my dad, we were going to this restaurant by the ocean and the seafood, but he couldn't walk the stairs, so my dad was pissed off because he couldn't walk the stairs. And so I was all worried about him and everything else. He was so sleepy. Anyway, he had sat by him and got to know him and came home and told me that he really enjoyed him. And I just remember that. And then we went
to rural hospitals and clinics. The proposed budget also includes millions for housing projects, local economic development, and tourism. And there's $80 million for public safety. That includes more than $30 million just to recruit new police officers. That proposal now heads to the Senate.
You know, the big
Some
talk of
major
flicking
changes
us
on the way
money.
for the State Department in charge of keeping New Mexico's children safe.
Meant to be, even though, like I told him, when he said he doesn't remember much, and I said, do you remember much about the hospital? And he gave me a go to hell look. It was funny. I said, I'm sorry, Chris. I said, I didn't believe he was in the hospital, and he gave me this look like, that. But it worked. He has no problems. But I said, do you remember anything? Anything? And he just remembered sitting on the beach eating sunflower seeds as we had many packages right on our snorkeling. You remember sitting there and then Kat took that video and we were so worried that we talked about many times. Yeah, but I love those
degrees warmer than what we were this time 24 hours ago. In fact, 18 degrees warmer in Las Vegas than 24 hours ago. Around 8 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday in Roswell. And winds are still pretty breezy, and that makes it feel a lot colder. It still feels like the single digits right now in town. Still feels like 10 degrees in Santa Fe and Raton. But we are in a warming trend, so today starts that warm up, and it's going to be dry as well. And we might have a couple of showers trying to pop up here toward the southwestern part of the state and south central part of the state, but that's really about it. Temperatures are going to be a few degrees warmer today than yesterday as well. We're looking at 30s, 40s, and 50s across the state. 52 for Las Cruces, 51 for Santa Rosa. Looking at low 40s for Santa Fe and Albuquerque for your highs today. It's staying in the 30s in Durango and Farmington for today. The North Mountains for the rest of the day, though, looking a little bit closer. 35 in Red River, 35 in Angel Fire as well. Looking at 36 in Taos with mostly sunny skies, and looking at the East Mountains for today. Mostly sunny, partly cloudy as we get toward the afternoon. Highs in the upper 30s and low 40s. And then looking at the metro again, a couple degrees warmer today, but we will have those clouds begin to move in toward the afternoon. We're not expecting any kind of precipitation from those clouds. So breaking down your 7-day forecast here in Albuquerque again, we're going to be partly cloudy today, and then we're going to warm up another 10 degrees as we go into the beginning of your weekend. Now, the 10% chance you see is during Saturday, and that's a very
Sunday, maybe I will. And you can go with y'all who go with me to do that. But he promised, I promised him that. And I didn't do that. And it bugged me because you promised me that. And I don't know, sometimes a jerk, when he left that money in the table for me, that he knew he wasn't a good yeah, but anyway, I feel bad when I go put up stuff in there in the closet. And I don't want him in a thing. I said, sure, y'all, these freaking things, come in. I said, pouring the tea was a very direct and also
When you see God in my way, I got lasting stairway-free remission.
yeah.
And when my gastro saw damage,
Let's not talk about it. I mean, after I found that money that time, I was like, he had planned everything. And I just freaked out on that. But yeah, I like to explore. Some people feel, and she has agreed with me that, funeral shit and all, I always thought it. They are they're so expensive. It's so demeaning because it's so artificial, They get their,
But I'm still a target for chronic kidney disease. And my type 2 diabetes means I'm also a target.
yes,
We are targets too.
yes, that's true. And yes, I know. It's just, and I'm good. I get better, and someone said to me, you, I don't know this person well from school, but she said, I know who it was. It was a girl at the mail services. She said, Tricky. She said, I can't, you look so much better. And I don't know what you see, but I feel it, and I appreciate it. And I just feel more of myself than I have in a long time. Yes, and I want to, and that's what drive, I don't go into scripture much, but I heard a quote the other day that said, it's my interpretation, that God makes you, we're here, we have to go through the pain where it's not an easy life. It's not supposed to be easy, but God also wants us to be able to enjoy, and that is to be responsible to enjoy your own life, and that is a given. You're not supposed to just hang out here and work your ass off and being happy and all that. You can take your responsibility also being happy, instead of people, I think some people don't think they can be happy. Yeah, I know. It stays with you forever, but yes. And then move on where you can find happiness, because I don't think it's like I said, your responsibility to your own self is to be happy. We're not supposed to just be here to be workers and to just be business. You know? What is so what? Oh, what? You had well, he had to go to the restroom 2 full nights, and I'm telling you, I don't want to get graphic, but I swear he had like 3 huge baked potatoes full of stool. And I don't know how in the world, but the way he was charging, and I mean, I could not believe. I 8 pounds worth. And I don't know how in the world that he had all that in his body. It took me all night tonight for to get him to where he's sitting in his chair back. But I don't know where he eats well, but I don't know how the small, even though he's water now, he's still solid. Where he had that to store that. It baffles me. Unbelievable. And I know what to do. So, but anyway, sir, I got a call, and I'll call you back, okay? Are you there?
About the process, and here's him speaking to the media about what's happening with this court process.
Hello? Yeah. Yeah.
And so we got 5 individuals charged with murder. I represent 1.
Oh.
There should be justice. Absolutely.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. Are you alright?
Now, the attorney for Nichols' family also mentioned that they do expect to receive an autopsy report
Oh,
in the
God.
coming days that will obviously have more information as this process moves forward.
Well, all is well with them. I just yesterday and the day before yesterday, I tell you, I had to do 2 hours, and the wind just went right through, and I can't.
For any homeowners confused and knows there's all these different groups, there were, of course, those five officers we just discussed, then there were paramedics at the scene, now there's this. Can you kind of tease out for us these different parties and what we know, particularly about these two deputies' role in all of this?
Savannah, so we know that the initial stop, this was Memphis police. These were the members of that Scorpion Union. And then more officers were called in from Memphis police. And then the sheriff's officers also came in to help. That's, of course, a different department. And then we also have the fire department officers that came, or employees of the fire department. The first responders, those are the ones that have been suspended, as now 3 of them. And then, of course, we have the 5 former officers that have been charged. And we have 2 additional officers from the Memphis Police Department that have also been suspended. Now, additionally, we have these 2 officers from the Sheriff's Department. What we know through a statement from the sheriff is that after their investigation, the Sheriff's Department decided to give them a 5-day suspension without pay. They mentioned the body cameras that weren't turned on, and there was also issues with the way these officers filled in their logs, accounting what had happened the night before. Savannah.
All right, well, I think it's really, thank you. Such a comprehensive overview there on such an important story. We appreciate it. Thank you for your reporting.
The federal government is helping set up a medical clinic in Ohio to deal with the chemical disaster there. Governor Mike DeWine just announced the move. It comes exactly 2 weeks after a train derailed, unleashing toxic and dangerous materials into the air, water, and ground. NBC News correspondent George Solis is live in Ohio with more. George, explain the purpose of this clinic and what type of services can people actually get there.
Yeah, good afternoon, Allison. So the purposes of this clinic are to make sure that people who are feeling sick, they are experiencing some of those symptoms, they associate with the derailment, have a place to go. The clinic will also be offering mental health services. Now, this will be run by the Department of Health and Human Services as well as the Ohio Department of Health. Now, again, the officials and the governor wants to make it clear this is not because they say that the derailment is causing anyone to get sick, but because they understand that people are feeling symptoms as a result of this. They want to make sure they are listening to those people's needs and they have a place to go. They're saying they want these clinics to be clinics. As far as the specifics are still being worked out, but they want them to be set up as soon as next week. One other thing that we should know, people who are talking about their pets being sick, they're encouraging that anyone that has a sick animal, take them to a veterinarian for a free screening, Allison.
George, we're hearing so many officials, most recently Governor Mike DeWine, insisting that the water and air in this area is safe. But you see these medical clinics being set up, you hear all of these reports from people in the community about symptoms they say they are having now after all of this happened. What are people saying now? I mean, do they believe the governor or other officials when they say the air and the water, it's safe?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, for the number of people that I've been speaking with, they are simply not buying it. They say they feel that their calls for help were ignored up until this point. They're saying, we hear that the governor, we hear that officials are telling us that our water is safe to drink, that the air is safe to breathe, but they've expressed concerns and they feel that they have not been listened to. So they're wondering how much longer this is going to take and who will ultimately be held accountable, guys.
NBC's George Solis, thank you so much for joining us live there in East Palestine. What else, while I have you quickly, will you be looking at moving forward?
Yeah, we'll definitely be looking at continued air and water quality monitoring. We know that there are still stations here that are supposedly doing this 24/7. Looking at the cleanup of the derailment site, how long that's going to take, and then, as mentioned, just making sure that the clinics are set up and these services will be offered to the people of this community.
George Solis in East Palestine, thank you. We appreciate it.
An incredible video from Tampa, Florida. Law enforcement releasing surveillance footage showing a woman fighting off an attacker inside the gym in her apartment building. Here's NBC's Priscilla Thompson with her story.
Surveillance video captured the incredible moment a Tampa woman fought off an attacker at her apartment complex's gym.
As if I keep going, if I keep pushing, I keep fighting, he's gonna stop. He's gonna let go, and he finally did.
24-year-old Shali Alma, a personal trainer, told Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies she was exercising alone around 10 p.m. on January 22nd when she saw a man she'd previously seen at the gym trying to get in. Whenever he was at the door, I buzzed him in and he came inside. My thought process was, like you said, like it was just another dude coming in to work out. But after 25-year-old Xavier Thomas Jones entered, this happened instead. Next thing you know, I get up from doing my workout and I grab my phone and he just approaches me and not a single word was exchanged. As soon as he was approaching me, I pushed him. I said, bro, what the F are you doing? I said, get away from me. And he kept trying to come towards me and kept reapproaching me. Video shows Thomas Jones chasing her around the gym before grabbing Alma and pinning her down. In my mind, I knew I was stronger than him and I knew I could fight back. The seasoned weightlifter seen here holding her attacker in a chokehold while trying to call 911 before throwing more punches, leading Thomas Jones to release his grip. Self-defense expert Patrick Lockton at New York City's Krav Maga Institute says Alma's quick thinking under pressure was key.
He's all good now. They're all good. Well, he's gonna try to go to
Alma
counseling.
immediately ran outside, escaping to a nearby apartment.
That's
Now
good,
she's sharing
Steve.
her story
You
and
need one
encouraging
hour
other
a
women
day,
with
'cause I know
similar
it's all right for
experiences
them.
to do the same.
Oh,
No other
so.
person should go through this. No other person should have to feel like this. No other person should have to go through a situation like this. Experts say avoiding an incident like this starts with being aware of your surroundings and moving quickly if you're in danger.
Getting in the way, creating obstacles, creating an opportunity, space between you and your attacker. It's like going straight for vulnerable. So again, just the eyes, hitting him in with the phone, striking him in the throat is everywhere. It's soft tissue there, it's soft tissue in your eyes as well, and it's going to hurt everybody no matter how strong you are.
Authorities were able to track down Thomas Jones and arrested him the next day. He pled not guilty to charges of sexual battery, false imprisonment, and kidnapping, and will appear in court next month. An attorney for Thomas Jones did not respond to NBC's request for comment. The day he was arrested and the day they caught him, I saw the whole thing go down. It was a relief. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News. Oh, what a story, what a video. That woman is incredible.
Yes. All right, switching gears now to talk money, spring break travel. Because despite inflation, spring break travel, it is bouncing back pretty big.
Yeah, we're all ready for a trip. Right? Well, our girl Vicky Wynn shares how to plan their vacation without busting the budget.
Spring is in the air, and after years of missing out, college students and families are making spring break a priority this season. In Florida, the Southwest, and south of the border, at the top of the list according to travel booking site Hopper.
If you're headed to a very popular warm weather spring break destination, you should be booking your flight now.
Travel costs are not immune to inflation. Hotel rates are up 64% from last year, and flights cost 20% more.
Have a good
But there are
chance to
spring
do
break
that.
deals out there.
Oh,
Hopper
man.
advertising $82 round trip
He
flights
said,
to
if I can
Orlando
get
from
him,
New York.
I said, well, I can't leave
Boston to
because
San Diego for $190.
I can't.
New York round trip to Turks and Caicos for $260. But the clock is ticking. Families heading to vacation hotspots should book as soon as possible.
Here, I got it for you. I don't want to poke it. Your father's got lotion in it, man. Better now? You want some stuff on it or clear it? You need a call cord?
And consider a staycation.
One of the best ways to get an incredible deal when you do a staycation is to reach out to local hotels or accommodation providers. Ask if they have a geo-fenced rate. Hotels often will offer a lower rate to residents of the town, the community, sometimes even the state, to incentivize locals to stay at their accommodations.
Meanwhile, international travel has also roared back with
I gotta
Asian
pay it, yeah.
destinations like China,
So you don't
Japan,
have to
and
worry about
Indonesia
it.
reopening
If it is, it'll be
post-pandemic and
tomorrow
attracting crowds
afternoon
of
and
young
things
people
are all
eager
fixed
to
up.
experience a new part of the world and take advantage of the strong dollar.
You add up hotel, eating out, Ubers to and from airports, the total amount of money you're spending to go somewhere in the US might actually be the same amount you would spend going somewhere in Asia or Europe.
Savvy travelers should plan out a complete budget, including the cost of taxis, rental cars, food and drink, and excursions. Tips to maximize your spring break without breaking the bank. Vicky Wynn, NBC News.
Great tips. Thanks, Vicki. Now, Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, just one of the millions of people affected by severe depression. What we know about the condition when we come back. There is more NBC News Daily right after this.
You're exploiting Mexican culture for profit.
Who cares if it makes you money? If Papa John is Italian,
But it's
rich. That's business. 101.
New Lopez versus Lopez tonight on NBC.
That's a fun show. I gotta watch it.
New Young Rock tonight on NBC.
President's Day savings are even bigger this weekend at Shop Doorbusters up to 50% off. Like this entertainment center, now only $2.99. Or this upholstered sofa, now only $3.99. Friday through Monday only at Ashley Home Store.
At Western Sky Community Care, we get you. With our quality Medicaid coverage, we get you a large network of trusted doctors so you can feel better. We get you no-cost and low-cost plans so you can take care of your health without having to worry. We get you connected to pregnancy support so your kids stay healthy. We get you cared for the whole you so you're ready for whatever tomorrow brings. At Western Sky Community Care, we get you. Go to wegetyouNN.com today.
My lawyer
Really cares.
checks in on me.
It's like family to me.
He's just an honest,
Pretty funny.
trustworthy person. The best. My lawyer's the best.
Mi abogado contesta mis llamadas.
We know catastrophic injury and wrongful death cases. That's what we do. We win. And we win big. We are Glasheen, Vias, and Inderman Injury Lawyers.
Now's the best time to celebrate big savings during the President's Day celebration at your New Mexico Ford dealer. Now, Ford Motor Company is offering 0% plus $1,000 cash back on the 2022 Ford Explorer or Ford Escape, or choose the bold design and impressive performance of the 2022 Ford Edge with 0% plus $2,500 bonus cash. Don't miss the savings. Hurry to the President's Day celebration only at your New Mexico Ford dealer. This weekend only at Ashley Home Store's President's Day sale. Save up to 25% off store-wide or get no interest for 5 years with no minimum purchase and no down payment. That's no interest until 2028 at Ashley Home Store.
Well, mental health is not a partisan issue. It doesn't matter what community you're a part of. Chances are someone there is struggling with their mental health. That is why Senator John Fetterman from Pennsylvania is receiving far-reaching praise for taking action to get help for his depression. Absolutely. Joining us now is psychiatrist Dr. Dave. Dr. Dave, depression affects more than 17 million adults in the U.S. to almost 2 million children. Talk to us about how significant it is to hear Senator Fetterman publicly share his experience here.
You know, when a public figure opens up and says, I'm going to get help for my mental health, it really helps normalize that for other people. We know there's so much stigma surrounding mental illness, and every step that is put out there that says it's okay to not be okay, all of those steps add up and they help dismantle the stigma over time. And everyone's journey with mental health looks different, right? So some people might need inpatient hospitalization, so that being put out publicly is also extremely powerful. Especially because people have questions right now because he has this other medical event recently with a stroke. Let's separate that out because people might be thinking, is it related to that? And just talk about in our homes, in our relationships, what should you be looking for? So if someone is having persistent feelings of sadness or depressed mood for 2 weeks or longer, these feelings of worthlessness or guilt, trouble focusing, feeling like you can't function in your day-to-day life, changes in your sleep or in your appetite, and of course, any thoughts of self-harm at all of those things can mean that it's time to get some more support. Absolutely. Also, anything that you want somebody to know who might have someone they think is struggling, how to help them? I think it's so important to reach out and just say, I've noticed things have been different. How can I help you? I always start with open-ended, non-judgmental questions. Can I make an appointment for you? Can I go to an appointment for you? Can we have a support group together with friends we trust? Really just putting that out there can go such a long way to make someone feel less alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Dr. Dave, always great when you're here. Thank you. Such an important discussion. So good to see you also. Well, the U.S. is suffering from a massive mental health crisis. We got some numbers this week in a new report from the CDC, and it spotlights
just how young this crisis goes. 60% of teenage girls say they felt extremely hopeless at some point. And this stat was quite startling. Almost a quarter of teen girls have made a suicide plan. I spoke with the U.S. Secretary of Education and the U.S. Surgeon General about what's influencing these numbers.
What we're also seeing is the experience of technology, of social media in particular, has not been healthy or positive for many people. And this is especially true for young girls, for whom their sense of self, their confidence in their own body is adversely affected often by their participation in social media.
If you think about the child psychology and where they are developmentally, self-identity and many of them go through identity crisis. Who am I? And if they're on their phones or if they're on social media and seeing images of things, they're going to try to become that, and that could lead to mental health issues.
To drill down on girls, let me just ask about one set of this data. Did the data on sexual violence surprise you? The fact that 14% of these teen girls said they've been forced to have sex?
Those numbers on sexual violence are horrifying, but we know that creates trauma, and trauma in turn can manifest in really destructive ways in people's lives, again, increasing the risk for mental health challenges and increasing the risk for suicide.
Well, we just had that conversation yesterday. It's going to be part of a larger special we're doing. But the other part of our day yesterday, we then spoke with teens. Yeah. And one of the things that was really shocking for me to hear also is that stat that I mentioned there. With these students, we said, are you surprised at the number of teenage girls who in this report, they've seen the report already, they gave it to CDC data, they've been reading about it. It's on everybody's phones and news alerts. They said they were not surprised. They are living it. They were not surprised to hear that number of teen girls had been forced to have sex.
It is horrific stats in this. There's so much bad, but the one bit of, I think, light in this is to see and hear how young people are talking about this in ways that I don't think was available when I was in high school.
Absolutely, and they said it's making such a difference. We'll have a lot more of that.
Yeah, and it's fun. Right, you're watching NBC News Daily. Stay with us.
Ibuprofen helps you fight migraine attacks. You put it all on the line. You do it all. So you bring Ibuprofen. It can quickly stop migraine in its tracks within 2 hours without worrying if it's too late for where you are.
Unlike older medicines, Ubrelvy is a pill that directly blocks a protein believed to be a cause of migraine. Do not take the strong 6-2-4 inhibitor. Most common side effects are nausea and tiredness.
Migraine pain relief starts with you. Learn how acne can help you stay. Ask about Ubrelvy at any time, anywhere. Migraine medicine.
She is fearless. Hearts on the line. The pink silhouette. She can leap off her body. Comfortable in shapewear fabric, she moves with ease. Confident on nights like these. The pen silhouette. The only thing stronger than us is you.
We stripped all over this mountain.
I love it when he strips for me.
I strip on sick days. Breathe instantly relieves nighttime nasal congestion. Daytime too, helping you breathe easier for up to 12 hours. Breathe right, strip on.
Mystery. Jesse loves playing detective.
But the real mystery is your irritated skin. So we switched to Tide Pod 3 and Gentle. It cleans better and doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
And it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
It's gotta be Tide.
Constipated. Feeling weighed down by a backed out gut. Miralax is different. It works naturally with the water in your body to unlock your gut.
At
Ashley's President's Day mattress sale, save $1,000 on select mattresses. Plus, save hundreds on select adjustable mattress sets. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, or save up to $900 on Purple. Plus, get 0% interest for 60 months, only at Ashley. Sometimes the lows of bipolar depression feel darkest before dawn. With Caplyta, there's a chance
you have to use the black one, honey.
Caplyta is proven to deliver significant relief across
Oh, that's
bipolar
good.
depression. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Caplyta treats both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Report fever, confusion, stiff, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be life-threatening or permanent. These aren't all the serious side effects.
Caplyta can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Caplyta. Find savings and support at Caplyta.
Thanks, Hobbs, for watching KLVR TV. Now, we know the Eyewitness News.
Here to let 11:52, the proposal to rebuild the torn-down obelisk on Santa Fe's Plaza is moving forward. That's according to the Santa Fe New Mexican. The city's Quality of Life Committee approved that plan, but with some conditions. So the new obelisk would include more plaques to give more context about the monument. But of course, before they can put it back up, the measure calls for removing the wooden box covering what remains of the original obelisk, and that's something councilors worry could lead to more vandalism. The original obelisk was torn down by protesters in 2020. It used to honor fallen Union soldiers, but it was controversial for derogatory language describing Native Americans. The plan will go through 2 more votes in committees before a full vote by the city council. The recent snowstorms brought some impressive snow totals in our ski resorts. Ski Santa Fe reporting 37 inches of fresh snow. And in Taos, they're reporting 18 inches in just the last 72 hours. Ski resorts are optimistic that this ski season will last a bit longer compared to previous years.
Well, if these conditions continue and continue to get the snow, it's possible some of our skiers will extend their closing dates.
And this weekend, you can expect some lines for the lifts. Crews are also working on plowing the roads and the parking lots for visitors. And if you don't have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, it is always a good idea to bring chains for your tires.
Oh yeah, that's some good snow there. I mean, it might feel like it's going to snow here in Albuquerque, but it's not. We're just looking at some high clouds moving in this afternoon. Current temperature at the Sunport is 35 degrees here at 11. 5 almost. Looking at Red River, actually seeing a lot of pretty beautiful skies there. Some people on the slopes. Currently 36 there with a calm wind. Looking at the lower 48, we're not looking at much in the way of anything. We had that system that moved through earlier this week is now moving off the eastern side of the United States. We're left with just dry weather. In fact, we got a couple of high clouds. We're going to move in toward Apache County, Arizona. They'll continue to push toward the east, so it might block out the sun from time to time, but it's still going to be a very nice day. But current temperatures are at least warming up a little bit. 45 right now in Roswell. Looking at low 40s as well for Hobbs, Carlsbad, mid 40s for Silver City at 44. But this is several degrees warmer than this time yesterday. In fact, anywhere between 10 to 20 degrees warmer for some places here in East New Mexico. 7 degrees warmer here at Albuquerque. And winds are still crazy. Between 10 to 15 today, 36 in Taos, 37 in Chama and Los Alamos for your day today. Looking at the East Mountains, another very nice day ahead. Upper 30s and low to mid 40s out there, 42 in Mountain Air. And looking at the metro, some places in the mid 40s like Belen to Los Lunas, as well as the rest of the metro, low to mid 40s like Rio Rancho, your high day around 42. Your 7-day forecast, we're watching a couple of different things, about a 10% chance of a couple of sprinkles possible on your Saturday, and then more systems begin to move in as we get toward Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'll break down everything you need to know in my full forecast coming up at noon.
You are an individual. Your home decor should be a reflection of your unique personality. So why would you settle for mundane furniture? At Miller Waldron Furniture, you can find thousands of unique items for your home. Or you can even have pieces customized just for you. With our wide selection of furniture and our knowledgeable staff ready to help with your questions and customizations, we can help make your space a place you can't wait to get home to. Visit one of our showrooms to see the stunning selection available at Miller Waldron Furniture.
When you buy any vehicle from Murdough Ford Lincoln, you pay zero for maintenance, and that's for life. Murdough Ford is New Mexico's only dealer making you this exclusive offer, and it is on any vehicle they sell, whether it is new, used, or even if it is a diesel truck. So why pay for vehicle maintenance when you don't have to? Save a bunch of money, come up to wonderful Murdough and get the deal of a lifetime, and never ever pay for maintenance. And it is only at Murdough Ford Lincoln.
I'm managing my high blood pressure, but I'm still a target for chronic kidney disease.
And my type 2 diabetes means I'm also a target.
We are targets too. Millions have chronic kidney disease, and 90% don't know they have it. So ask for your kidney numbers and Farxiga. If you have chronic kidney disease, Farxiga reduces the risk of kidney failure, which could lead to dialysis.
Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in women and men, and low blood sugar. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may lead to death. A rare, life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, an allergic reaction, or ketoacidosis. And don't take it if you are on dialysis.
Take aim with chronic kidney disease. Ask your doctor for your kidney numbers and ask for Farxiga. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
You can't always avoid migraine triggers like your next period. Qulipta can help prevent migraines. You can't always prevent what's going on outside. That's why Qulipta helps what's going on inside. Qulipta gets right to work. In a 3-month study, Qulipta significantly reduced monthly migraine days, and the majority of people reduced them by 50 to 100%. Qulipta blocks CGRP, a protein believed to be a cause of migraine. Qulipta is a preventive treatment for episodic migraine. Most common side effects are constipation and tiredness. Learn how happy could help you save on Qulipta.
That's me, Thomas Smith. Been really enjoying this. Anyways, what came up? My buddies and I help those in need.
You mind helping me put on sunscreen?
Teamwork makes the dream work. Some very good luck on my part. Figure 7 Central NBC.
You literally take my breath away.
This was so exciting. This is the winner.
Oh, I like your earrings.
Keep it in your pants, bro.
Is watching. Just lock me in here with this charming blaze.
This man bothering you, sweet.
Tuesday on NBC. KOB.
We start your noon on the traffic watch. I-40 is closed in both directions right now, just east of Grants. So here's a map showing exactly where that closure is. It's at State Highway 117's interchange, because there's a crash involving a semi in that area. And we have our Chopper 4 overhead right now. You're looking live at that scene where you can see the semi pretty torn to bits there. This traffic right now is being diverted onto State Highway 124. Albuquerque police arrested a suspect in a deadly road rage shooting from January. Salvador Cervantes. Police say he shot and killed Christopher Hernandez back on January 20th. Cervantes told police that Hernandez was driving aggressively, flashed a gun at him, and followed him into a parking lot. Cervantes claimed he acted in self-defense, but police say he also admitted he could have just continued to drive away. He's now charged with second-degree murder. A suspect in a deadly shooting at a house party last year says he's not guilty. Take a look at 16-year-old Cruz Medina. This was an earlier court date of him. He was arraigned in court today and entered that not guilty plea. Police say Medina and 19-year-old Jesse Parra opened fire at a home on Albuquerque's west side back in December. They had reportedly been kicked out of a party there for having guns. And 18-year-old Jada Gonzalez, pictured here, was hit and killed. While the community is still mourning that loss, Jada's high school, Albuquerque Academy, is doing something pretty unique to keep her name alive. Art was a passion for her. Her teachers say she experimented with different types of photography during her time at Academy, and that was recognized by the administration and those who worked closely with her every day. School leaders tell us that they set up a way to honor that passion. These are just examples that you're seeing here of her work. We've posted a link to where you can donate to the Jada Gonzalez 23 Artist Series Fund. You can find that under this story at KOB.com. The trial continues for the 3 men accused of brutally murdering Albuquerque teens Ahmed Latif and Colin Romero. Today, the jury heard testimony from a forensic pathologist about the autopsies performed after the bodies of Latif and Romero were discovered. If convicted, Stephen Goldman Jr., Jimmy Atkins, and Julio Almentero face up to life in prison. UNM Hospital will take over medical and behavioral health services at the Bernalillo County Jail now. A contract with the current provider, Yes Care, is going to end in July. And there have been particular concerns about deaths among inmates who were detoxing at MDC. In a statement, Bernalillo County Manager said the partnership with UNM Hospital will be a huge step in addressing those concerns. All right, take a look at this. Jim McGee and Aztec sent us some photos of the visitors that recently came into his backyard. Let's see, kind of hard to see them, but there are 3 deer in the picture. So let's get you a closer shot. Jim sent us a close-up of one of them. Very cool. Thank you, Jim, for sending that in. You can share your pictures with us.
And I need to get off of it. I pulled all the dust up through the edge. They wouldn't take it out because they were against the wall. And I just hit myself. And now it's starting to hurt through my legs.
It's still pretty cold out there.
Tell me to slow down, too.
Warmer than it was this time yesterday. So let's take a look at this beautiful shot from Los Alamos. Still a lot of sun in the mountains. Currently looking at 27 as the air temperature went up about 3 miles per hour. Looking at the wind here in the Albuquerque metro area. It's still calm. The temperature is still cold though. 35 right now in Albuquerque.
You feel like you need a
radar,
ghost
at least just radar right now.
You got an infection?
Anything on
Temperatures
again, they're going up as we're getting closer to the end now. 43 in Santa Rosa, 45 in Roswell and Las Vegas. Still looking at a couple of 20s though. You went from Raton all the way to Taos, Santa Fe, Gallup is sitting at 29. And winds are still a little bit breezy out there, and that is giving us a little bit of a wind chill. We are expected to warm up into the 40s here in Albuquerque as we get closer to 4 p.m. But I'll have your full forecast showing you what you can expect for your weekend coming up. Danielle.
Across New Mexico and across the country, kids are back in school today after a stressful afternoon yesterday. There were active shooter calls at multiple high schools. It turns out those calls were all fake, a coordinated hoax that has been happening over the past few days. Yesterday, APD officers got a call about a shooting at Volcano Vista High School from an out-of-state number. Officers made contact with the school and they didn't report any shootings. Rio Rancho police also got a call about a shooting at Bernalillo High School. When officers responded, same thing. That it was Rio Rancho High School. And other schools in the city were put on lockdown as a precaution because of this. Parents said it was really scary.
I'm very terrified. I mean, every day I'm just like, okay, I leave it up to the teachers here at school, the school police officers, to be in charge of our students, to be safe here at the school.
Same thing happened in Santa Fe. Police say they got a call about multiple students being shot, but yesterday classes in Santa Fe weren't even in session because of parent-teacher conferences. Now, all of these law enforcement agencies are working with federal law enforcement to investigate those fake calls. From the roundhouse to your house, our state is one step closer to having a budget. A $9.4 billion proposal cleared the House floor yesterday. And we do know that education and healthcare are the big players in that proposed budget. Right now, there is an 8% funding increase for public education and a 5% raise for teachers. There's also a nearly 70% increase in funding for the Early Childhood Education Department. For healthcare, lawmakers are proposing a nearly $220 million increase to Medicaid funding and directing millions more to rural hospitals and clinics. The proposed budget also includes millions for housing projects, local economic development, and tourism. There's nearly $80 million budgeted for public safety. That includes more than $30 million just to recruit new police officers. That proposal now heads to the Senate. Some major changes are on the way for the State Department in charge of keeping New Mexico's children safe. Yesterday, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham signed an executive order to completely rework CYFD. The governor also says we could be hearing about leadership changes once the 60-day session is over. She added that she will continue to work with lawmakers on new legislation to better improve how that department operates. This comes after lawmakers had already filed multiple CYFD reform bills. One of those is Senate Bill 107 that's set to have a hearing in a second committee today. That bill would require a probable cause hearing to be held within 3 days of a child being taken into into state custody. At that hearing, a judge would determine if there's probable cause to believe there's abuse. If not, that child would be returned to their parents or guardian. Getting to the war in Ukraine now, Russia is switching up tactics, now using decoy missiles without explosive warheads and deploying balloons to fool Ukraine's air defenses. This comes as we get close to marking 1 year since the Russian invasion. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest from Warsaw, Poland.
As you can see, an overcast, very rainy day here in Warsaw. That has not slowed at all preparations for President Biden's visit here next week. I spoke with the mayor of Warsaw today, said that he is very excited to host the president and very thankful for the support his city and his country has received in hosting so many of the refugees that have made their way from Ukraine and continue to pour into this country. Across the border in Ukraine, there are new reports of stepped-up attacks by Russian forces, including a new tactic in the air, decoy missiles that are used to throw off air defense systems, and more of the rockets are apparently getting in and striking areas where civilians are present, in neighborhoods and shopping centers. That's something we've seen really escalating over the last several weeks as the war picks up its pace as we get closer to a full year of the Russian invasion. It's a situation where the Russians are also apparently at this point using balloons over Kyiv, and those are being used as a distraction as well. This, again, all part of that new strategy from Russian troops. They're no longer just coming in force, but instead a bit more strategic as this war continues. That's the latest from here in Warsaw. I'm Jay Gray. Now back to you.
Back here in New Mexico, the feds gave the green light to shoot wild cows in the Gila. But this does not mean that it's hunting season for everybody. A shooter will be up in a helicopter in the Gila wilderness next week, targeting the cows. They'll block off sections of that area when it happens. Officials say the cows have become more aggressive toward visitors, and they're eroding the area. Last year, dozens of cows were killed in a similar operation. Getting closer to spring, people are thinking about where they want to go for spring break. So we'll let you know how to save the most money while you're planning that trip. Okay.
Ford. Drive one today at your New Mexico Ford dealer.
I am the peanut butter parfait royal treat. Now $2.99 for a limited time. With oats of peanuts, pounds of creamy, smooth, deep vanilla lobster, and tons of rich hot fudge layered high for one tempting treat. Only at your Roswell Dairy Queen.
This is a Tempur-Pedic mattress, and it's designed to help make aches and pains a thing of the past. Because only Tempur-Pedic uses our one-of-a-kind, incredibly adaptive Tempur material to relieve pressure points and support your body in a way no other mattress can. Molecule by molecule and millimeter by millimeter, all night, every night.
Save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets, and get a $300 gift. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Tempur-Pedic.
Beat the rush! President's Day pricing is going on now at Permian Ford. Now is the time to save thousands on trucks, cars, and SUVs. Permian Ford has been family-owned and operated for over 70 years and has something for everyone. There has never been a better time to trade in than now. Vehicles are arriving daily. Get our absolute best price. Get to Permian Ford on the corner of Del Paso and Sega. Permian Ford! Ford.net. Trucks Central USA.
Nikki Austin is Pioneer Bank's Chief Lending Officer. Pioneer's lending team can help put your business on the path to success. Options that will work for you. Nikki is a true community banker, serving on the board of Leadership New Mexico and the First Tee of Southeastern New Mexico. She is a leading member of Team Pioneer.
Our mission is to make a positive difference in the lives of those who work, bank, invest, and pioneer.
Nikki is making a difference. switched to AAA insurance and we bundled our home and auto, we were shocked at the savings.
I switched to AAA because I saved over $450. That makes a big difference in my budget.
When we bundled our home and auto, we saved over $750 with AAA insurance.
Switch to AAA insurance today, and you can save an average of $483 on auto insurance. Compare that to State Farm, Geico, even Allstate. Call now for your free AAA full picture quote to find out how much you can save. This type of savings on the insurance goes a long way in helping me do the things I like to do.
The money we've been able to save from our AAA insurance, we're able to put that money back into our business.
We might go to the spa, go to the concert, go out to eat.
Yeah, it makes me feel good about spending the money where I know we're very safe.
To find out how much you can save by switching to AAA insurance, call 877-201-0195 for your free AAA full picture quote today. You'll be glad you did.
President's Day at National Furniture Liquidators is store-wide savings and more. Plus, Shorty says get your beauty sleep with $900 savings on a BUS mattress and adjustable base. National Furniture Liquidators.
Our body beats short.
Spring break travel is making a comeback. Despite the inflation, travel agents and booking websites say demand has reached levels they haven't seen since before the pandemic. So if you're thinking about taking a trip this year, NBC's Vicki Wynn shows us how to plan on a budget.
Spring is in the air, and after years of missing out, college students and families are making spring break a priority this season, with hotspots in Florida, the Southwest, and south of the border at the top of the list, according to travel booking site Humper.
If you're headed to a very popular warm weather spring break destination, you should be booking your flight now.
Travel costs are not immune to inflation. Hotel rates are up 64% from last year, and flights cost 20% more. But there are spring break deals out there. Hopper advertising $82 round-trip flights to Orlando from New York, Boston to San Diego for $190, and Newark round-trip to Turks and Caicos for $260. But the clock is ticking. Families heading to vacation hotspots should book as soon as possible. Prices might rise by more than $200 a ticket in the weeks closer to spring break. Expect full flights and hotels, and make contingency plans in case of flight cancellations. For budget-conscious travelers, be flexible. Midweek flights can be up to $100 cheaper per person. Wait to book big city hotels. Last-minute room deals can save you up to 25%. And consider a staycation.
One of the best ways to get an incredible deal when you do a staycation is to reach out to local hotels or accommodation providers. Ask if they have a geo-fenced rate. Hotels often will offer a lower rate to residents of the town, the community, sometimes even the state, to incentivize locals to stay at their accommodations.
Meanwhile, international travel has also roared back, with Asian destinations like China, Japan, and Indonesia reopening post-pandemic and attracting crowds of young people eager to experience a new part of the world and take advantage of the strong dollar.
You add up hotel, eating out, Ubers to and from airports, the total amount of money you're spending to go somewhere in the U.S. might actually be the same amount you would spend going somewhere in Asia or Europe.
Savvy travelers should plan out a complete budget, including the cost of taxis, rental cars, food and drink, and excursions. Tips to maximize your spring break without breaking the bank.
Well, the recent snowstorms dumped a pretty impressive amount of snow on our ski resorts. Ski Santa Fe is reporting that it got 37 inches of fresh powder in just the last couple of days. Taos is reporting 18 inches in the last 72 hours. And if this keeps up, the resorts could extend their seasons.
How are we just going to go from spring break to winter wreck again?
We're giving you whiplash. We're giving you options.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah. Because you got me all excited for going somewhere warm,
vacation,
going to Florida maybe, and then we like, oh, by the way, Ski Santa Fe got like 30-something inches of snow.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's good for our snowpack, especially when we get toward the spring. So I'll definitely take it. The snow is very welcomed here. Forecasting a high today here in Albuquerque around 43 degrees. That's a pretty big difference below average. And then our sunset times this evening looks to be around 5:51. We're getting closer to 6 p.m. with that. Now, this is actually Los Alamos, but in Red River right now it's 29 degrees. So we're looking at our clouds and radar across the lower 48, and we're not seeing much in the way of anything. That system that brought us all that snow is now on the eastern side side of the United States, but here we're left with a couple of high clouds beginning to move in toward the western part of the state, and this will continue to push toward the east, so everyone will see that as we get closer toward 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. Current temperatures are beginning to warm up at least a little bit. 40s here for the eastern side of the state and southern part of the state as well. 45 right now in Roswell, still looking at 39 in Ruidoso, and still some 20s here for the northern parts of the state, including the Four Corners, where it's still 24 in Durango, but then this is still several degrees warmer than what we were at this time yesterday. We're between 10 to 20 degrees warmer for some, like Las Vegas. You're 20 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. And winds are still breezy, anywhere between 5 to 15 miles per hour for most of us. Again, mostly in higher elevations like Santa Fe. You're sitting right now at 15 miles per hour, and that does make it feel like 17 there. So for the rest of today, yes, it will be warmer than what we had yesterday, but it's still going to be a pretty chilly day out there. But again, we might see a couple of showers here for the southwestern part of the state in the Boot Hill, mainly in the higher elevations of the Sacramento Mountains and the Gila National Forest, but that's pretty much it there. The predicted highs for today look like this. 30s, 40s, and 50s are expected. 43 here in Albuquerque. Now, as we go toward tomorrow, those clouds will begin to move back out as we get toward the afternoon, but breezy conditions will begin to develop here in the northeastern part of the state toward the afternoon. And then Sunday, we do have a system that will be grazing us a little bit. Now, we have a lot of dry air at the surface, so a lot of this precipitation that we could see that I'm going to show you here on Futurecast more than likely will not reach the ground. So if we're looking toward tonight, all your plans for your Friday night are looking pretty good. Again, maybe some cloud cover as we're continuing with us. Now, Harry's Futurecast says we could see a couple of snow showers here. I'm not buying this, again, because of the dry air we have. Maybe a couple of flurries here in Albuquerque is possible, but if you're in the higher elevations, you might see like glazing more of snow, or maybe some more snow to add on to those totals we've had this last week. And then Sunday, again, clouds will begin to increase. But now we're watching some systems as we get toward next week. We have to switch to extended Futurecast. Your Monday and Tuesday look great, though. As we look towards your Wednesday morning, this is when our first system of another series will begin to affect us. Now continue through the day. Some places saying rain, like Albuquerque, mostly be all rain, and then the higher elevation saying even more snow. So talking about more snow, here's your 4-day ski forecast. If you have any plans to go out to the ski resorts, it's looking pretty good out there. Maybe a couple of flurries Sunday and Monday. Temperature staying in the 20s and 30s, but still going to be breezy to windy at times to most of the days. But at least for the southeast today, highs in the 40s and 50s are expected. Mostly sunny conditions for Roswell. That 10% chance is mainly during the afternoon for your Saturday, and even that, at best, maybe a couple of sprinkles reaching the surface, but that's about it. For the southwest today, highs in the 40s and 50s, breezy at times, high of 42 in Silver City. For the northwest and the Four Corners region, staying in the 30s for most of us here, only 38 today for Farmington. Beginning to become partly cloudy, mostly cloudy as we get toward the evening time, although we're not expecting any kind of precipitation from that, but we are watching next week for that rain-snow mix chance. For the North Mountains today, highs in the 30s and 40s, looking at 41 for Espanola, 40 for Santa Fe today, mostly sunny to partly cloudy as we get toward the afternoon. And again, only about a 10% chance of a couple of flurries for your Saturday. For the Northeast today, highs in the 40s and 50s, looking at 47 for Las Vegas. For the East Mountains, mostly sunny to partly cloudy as we get toward the rest of the afternoon, highs in the upper 30s and low to mid 40s. And here in the metro, again, it's going to be a cool day, but a lot warmer than what we had yesterday and not as windy as well. Looking at about a high of 43 for the rest of your Friday.
The double murder trial for former lawyer Alec Murdough continues. Up next, what the jury learned about an attempted suicide for hire scheme.
Very excited to announce just hours ago this Monday, members of the West Side
In 175 days, staffers go almost everywhere, to almost everything from almost every angle.
Love is in the air at Permian Toyota, and sweet deals are going on all month long. Get 3.99% financing on 2023 Camrys, Corollas, RAV4s, Highlanders, and Tacomas. Fall in love with your favorite Toyota. They're all here waiting for you at Permian Toyota. Visit us today and save thousands on the best selection of all new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Each is priced to sell now. Permian Toyota! PermianToyota.com. Toyota Center, USA. Just north of Grove Street.
There's a reason why Roswell Seed Company's been around for over 100 years. We help you get the job done right. Go where the pros go. Roswell Seed Company.
It's the President's Day sale at New Mexico's Mattress Firm. Get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for the price of a twin. Save up to 50% off all floor and discontinued models. Save up to $400 on Sealy adjustable sets or Beautyrest Black. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable sets, plus receive a $300 instant gift. And save up to $600 on Stearns & Foster adjustable sets. Plus, we offer 0% financing. The President's Day sale at New Mexico's Mattress Firm.
Buy more, save more during the fantastic 4-day sale at Furniture Row. That's 4 fantastic days to save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. With the largest selection at the lowest prices guaranteed, it's the perfect time to design a new living room, dining room, bedroom, or fall into a new mattress. And check out doorbusters while they last. Plus, get 6 years no interest financing. But don't wait. The fantastic 4-day sale at Furniture Row ends Monday.
Now's the best time to celebrate big savings during the President's Day celebration at your New Mexico Ford dealer. Now, Ford Motor Company is offering 0% plus $1,000 cash back on the 2022 Ford Explorer or Ford Escape, or choose the bold design and impressive performance of the 2022 Ford Edge with 0% plus $2,500 bonus cash. Don't miss the savings. Hurry to the President's Day celebration only at your New Mexico Ford dealer.
North Carolina, in the ongoing double murder trial of Alex Murdough, prosecutors have presented more than 50 witnesses, so they're getting close to resting their case. Jurors heard new evidence yesterday about what the prosecution calls a botched suicide for hire scheme that happened months after the murders. NBC's Katie Beck has more.
This never-before-seen video unveiled in court shows Alex Murdough inside an ambulance, telling first responders his version of events. 3 months after the murders of his wife and son, Murdough says he was changing a flat tire on the side of the road. When the ambulance stopped and shot him. To his cousin from the hospital, who Murdough says he bought pills from several times a week, admitting to a long-time opioid addiction. But Kelly denied Smith had anything to do with the murders of Maggie and Paul.
Is there any evidence that Curtis Taylor Smith had anything to do with Moselle? None whatsoever.
Katie Beck reporting. Coming up at 12:30, a new medical partnership at the Bernalillo County Jail. What county officials are hoping to fix. And I have a DIY flashback showing you how I transformed a vanity chair. You only need a few supplies here.
Scientists are making mudslides in space. But what does that have to do with New Mexico? Because after wildfires, Matt Grubbs, mudslides in space. Tuesday at 10 on KOV4.
He's one of the greatest in the world.
fiance met on tour?
Our first kiss was actually on stage. We're doing a run with the Dance of Love.
That's sexy.
That was my sexy leg, by the way.
Welcome back in piano, Jay Hernandez. Do you like dancing?
I like dancing, but I can't say anything about dancing sitting next to him.
Next up.
Now's the best time to celebrate big savings during the President's Day celebration at your New Mexico Ford dealer. Just announced from Ford Motor Company, 2.9% financing for 60 months on the 2022 Ford F-150. That's 2.9% financing plus $1,000 bonus cash on a 22 Ford F-150. F-Series, America's #1 selling truck for 46 years running. Don't miss the savings. Hurry to the President's Day celebration at your New Mexico Ford dealer.
If one thing Xfinity needs engineering, you don't have anything about what's playing at once.
Every device in every room.
Where are you walking?
With speeds like this, I can't even dream of what he'll be able to do.
Get Xfinity Internet for just $25 a month with no annual contract during our limited time launch celebration. You have no idea how good you can be. Huh? What a time to be alive. Introducing the next generation 10G network. Only from Xfinity.
We treat our clients like family. Let my team of legal professionals arrange everything for you during your difficult time. We pride ourselves on getting our clients maximum compensation. If you've been seriously injured, call the Law Giant today.
Start the new year off right with the vehicle you want at Safe Ranch Auto Group. That way your tax return and you use it as your down payment. Browse online or visit any of our locations to find the car that's right for you. Double your tax return today. Visit us at Safe Ranch Auto Group or online at saferanch.com.
KOB Eyewitness News 4 activation.
And here it's 12:30. We are still on the traffic watch because I-40 is still closed in both directions right now, just east of Grants. Let's take a look at that map to pinpoint exactly where that closure is. It's at the State Highway 117 interchange. New Mexico Department of Transportation says there's a crash in that area, and when we look at the crash scene from our chopper 4, we can see that it involves a semi and a small car. You can see the crash is causing major backups. You see there the long trail of cars. Right now they're diverting traffic onto State Highway 124. Albuquerque police arrested a suspect in a deadly road rage shooting that happened last month. Take a look at Salvador Cervantes. Police say he shot and killed Christopher Hernandez on January 20th. Cervantes told police Hernandez was driving aggressively, flashed a gun at him, and followed him into a parking lot. Cervantes claimed he acted in self-defense, but police say he also admitted he could have just continued to drive away. He's now charged with second-degree murder. The teen suspect in a deadly shooting at a house party last year says he's not guilty. This is a video of 16-year-old Cruz Medina from an earlier court date. He was arraigned in court today and entered that not guilty plea. Police say Medina and 19-year-old Jesse Cara opened fire at a home on Albuquerque's west side back in December, and 18-year-old Jada Gonzalez was hit and killed. The boys had reportedly been kicked out of the party for having guns. And while the community is still mourning for Jada, her high school is doing something pretty unique to keep her name alive. Art was a passion for her, and her teachers say she was experimenting with different types of photography during her time at Albuquerque Academy. That was recognized by the administration and those who work closely with her every day. So school leaders tell us they set up a way to honor that passion.
We thought it would be appropriate to create an artist series fund that would bring artists, particularly of New Mexico, to work with our students, to speak to our community, to work with our faculty, and to really breathe light and art into the academy community.
And these that you're seeing here are some of examples of her work. We've posted a link to where you can donate to the Jada Gonzalez 23 Artist Series Fund. You can find it under this story at KOB.com. The The trial continues for 3 men accused of brutally murdering Albuquerque teens Ahmed Latif and Colorado. Today, the jury heard testimony from a forensic pathologist about the autopsies performed after the boys' bodies were discovered. If convicted, Stephen Coleman Jr., Jimmy Atkins, and Julio Montero face up to life in prison. We've learned that UNM Hospital will take over medical and behavioral health services at the Bernalillo County Jail. The contract with the current provider, Yes Care, is going to end in July. There have been concerns about deaths among inmates who were detoxing at the jail. In a statement, Bernalillo County's manager, Julie Morgus-Baca, said the partnership with UNM Hospital should be a huge step in addressing those concerns. All right, take a look at this photo. Jim McGee always coming through in Aztec with some great photos. He's showing us the visitors today on his property in his backyard. 3 deer. Kind of hard to see them. They camouflage well, don't they? I don't see the third. Okay, 1, 2, and then all the way to the left. Okay. And here's a close-up in case you were struggling like I was. Sorry, Jim said does a nice cool shot of one of the deer. And you can share your pictures with us at KOB.com. We love to see that.
We really do, because we're stuck in the studio, so sometimes we can't see outside. So it's really nice to have that. But I'll tell you what, Danielle, when I went to the gym really early this morning, just the walk from the truck to the front door was brutal. In short sleeves and shorts.
Well, what were you thinking? You're a meteorologist.
I know it was going to be cold, but we're going to continue. Just roll on. I think I'm going to lose that argument right there. The Tuskegee Valley right now, current temperature is 25. I've been seeing a lot of people skiing today, and what a perfect day to do it. Winds only out of the north at 8 miles per hour. Those winds will only continue to pick up as we get further on through the next couple of days. But at least here in Albuquerque, calm winds. Current temperature is 35. That makes it feel like a heat wave here compared to what we had just 24 hours ago. And with that dry air in place, not looking at anything on radar, temperatures currently in the 20s, 30s, and 40s statewide, already up to 45 from Las Vegas down toward Roswell. And winds are still a little bit breezy in spots, especially in higher elevations like Santa Fe. You're sustained at 15 miles per hour right now. It makes it feel like the teens in Taos and Santa Fe with only that very light wind. So for the southeastern part of the state, your hour forecast today looks pretty good, warming up into the 50s by the time we get toward 3 p.m. But things are going to change as we get toward next week. I'll break down everything you need to know in my full forecast. Danielle?
Brendan, thank you. Across New Mexico and across the country, kids went back to school today after a stressful afternoon yesterday. There were active shooter calls at multiple high schools. Turns out all of those calls were fake, a coordinated hoax that has been happening across the country over the past few days. Yesterday, APD officers got a call about a shooting at Volcano Vista High School from an out-of-state number. Officers made contact with the school, and they didn't report any shootings. Rio Rancho police also got a call about a shooting at Bernalillo High School. When officers responded there, same thing. After that, it was Rio Rancho High School. So other schools in the city were put on lockdown as a precaution, and parents told us it was really scary.
I'm very terrified. I mean, every day I'm just like, okay, I leave it up to the teachers here at school, the school police officers, to be in charge of our students, to be safe here at school.
And the same thing happened up in Santa Fe. Police say they got a call about multiple students being shot, but yesterday classes weren't even in session in Santa Fe because of parent-teacher conferences. So now all of these law enforcement agencies are working with the Fed to investigate these fake calls. From the Roundhouse to your house, our state is one step closer to having an approved budget. A $9.4 billion proposal cleared the House floor yesterday. And we do know that education and healthcare are the big players in this proposed budget. Right now, there's an 8% funding increase for public education and a 5% raise for teachers. There's also a nearly 70% increase in funding for the Early Childhood Education Department. Now, for healthcare, lawmakers are proposing a nearly $220 million increase to Medicaid funding and direct use more to rural hospitals.
Square, you know?
That proposed budget also includes millions for housing projects, local economic development, and tourism. There's nearly $80 million budgeted for public safety. That includes $30 million just to recruit new police officers. That proposal now heads to the Senate. Getting to Ukraine now, Russia has been switching up their tactics, now using decoy missiles without explosive warheads, deploying balloons to fool Ukraine's air defenses. And this comes as we get close to marking 1 year since the Russian invasion. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest from Warsaw, Poland.
Hey there, as you can see, an overcast, very rainy day here in Warsaw. That has not slowed at all preparations for President Biden's visit here next week. I spoke with the mayor of Warsaw today, said that he is very excited to host the president and very thankful for the support his city and this country has received in hosting so many of the refugees that have made their way from Ukraine and continue to pour into this country. Across the border in Ukraine, there are new reports of stepped-up attacks by Russian forces, including a new tactic in the air, decoy missiles that are used to throw off air defense systems, and more of the rockets are apparently getting in and striking areas where civilians are present, in neighborhoods and shopping centers. That's something we've seen really escalating over the last several weeks as the war picks up its pace as we get closer to a full year of the Russian invasion. It's a situation where the Russians are also apparently at this point using balloons over Kyiv, and those are being used as a distraction as well. This, again, all part of that new strategy from Russian troops. They're no longer just coming in force, but instead a bit more strategic as this war continues. That's the latest from here in Warsaw. I'm Jay Gray. Now back to you.
Let's get you back here in New Mexico now. The feds have given the green light to shoot wild cows in the Gila, but this does not mean that it's hunting season for anyone. A shooter will be up in a helicopter in the Gila wilderness next week, targeting the cows. They will block off those sections of the area when it happens. Officials say these cows have become more aggressive toward visitors, and they're eroding the area. Last year, dozens of cows were killed in a similar operation. For you, Flashback Friday, a weekend DIY project where I updated my Noni's vanity chair. Just a few supplies here and a hat that will make it even cheaper.
Thanks, Carlsbad, for watching KOBR TV.
I appreciate Miller Waldrop's staff, the showrooms, the entire atmosphere that they set up.
That's exactly what we needed, and we're looking forward to enjoying the furniture that we received.
They went out of their way every time to make sure everything was exactly what we wanted.
One of the most compassionate salespeople I have ever met in my life.
We feel like they really have our best interests at heart, and we send everybody down to Miller Waldrop.
It's worth it to take time to purchase something from Miller Waldrop.
Have you ever considered getting a walk-in tub? Well, look no further. Safe Step's best offer just got better. When you purchase your brand new Safe Step walk-in tub, you'll receive a free shower package. Yes, a free shower package. And if you call today, you'll also receive $1,600 off. Now you can enjoy the best of both worlds, the therapeutic benefits of a warm, soothing bath that can help increase mobility, relieve pain, boost energy, and even improve sleep. Or, if you prefer, you can take a refreshing shower, all in one product. Call now to receive a free shower package plus $1,600 off with the purchase of your brand new Safe Step walk-in tub.
There's never been a better time. Call now. 888-277-0479. That's 888-277-0479.
I'm so excited for people to try our new meatball sandwich.
Savory meatballs with melted Swiss cheese and zesty marinara sauce. One order for Valentino? Dude.
Grazie. Enjoy a taste of Italy with our new meatball sandwich.
It's an exciting issue of the Morning Shift Salute. A call for help from New Mexico morning workers. time. Two superheroes answer the call. On your community.
It is Friday and we're throwing it back for DIY today to the 60s. An abandoned chair that used to belong to my grandma Noni. I gave her a little update in this flashback DIY. If you've never reupholstered anything before, this is the best way to kind of dip your toe into it with a project like this. So this chair is very easy because it detaches the part that we're going to reupholster. Just unscrews here, the seat unscrews, and then we're just going to wrap it with a new fabric. You'll need really sharp scissors, upholstery staples, a staple gun, and I'm using a faux fur rug to cover the chair. Very bougie. You're going to use this rug, which is nice and thick, which is why I'm saying you won't even feel or see the buttons anymore. Flip it over upside down. Leave probably an inch border. You want to still be able to access these little screw holes here to reattach it. This rug was only $20 at Home Goods. To get this much fabric in this thick of a fluffy fabric would have been much more expensive to buy the fabric store. I drew an outline for where to cut. I'm going to cut. This is going to be messy with all this fur. Right, see, this is going to happen. That's okay. Don't get stressed. It's fine. We'll clean it up later. It is stressing me out, though. I hate this. Now it's Do you see that? Can you see these flying everywhere? I'm starting to itch. Gigi is stressed too. It's fine. I'm fine. She's fine. We're going to staple it on. Then we're going to cut out around the circles. I'm thinking as I'm going, Jesse. Cutting around the screw holes so we can easily reattach the seat when we're done. Always starting somewhat towards the center. Don't mess with the corners just yet. Just staple around the border. Now it's time to fix the corners. Find our corner and cut a straight line. Almost all the way down to where that corner heads. We're going to cut all this excess off. Of course, we use also to attach it to the chair. You could use a hand stapler if that's all you've got, but getting through this thick fabric, I knew it was going to be kind of a pain to do that. So I'm going to pull out the air compressor one. I fully intended on covering the back because it's an open metal chair frame, but it didn't need it. The fur is so forgiving.
Oh.
These as you see, this one, the fur is just all fluffy.
I'm sorry, but I don't have to do that.
I used a screwdriver instead of a power drill because it's an old, delicate chair, and I wanted to take it slow. Then after some cleanup, it's time to test it out. Sturdy.
That was pretty cool.
Thank you to make it complicated for you, Dave. It's hard too, aren't you tired? It's fun what you're doing here. And I take away my phone. The windshield phone, what? I took all of that.
Washington, D.C., but we're just some dry air. We do have clouds beginning to move in for the western state, especially from Apache County, Arizona, toward the Florida shot there. It's pretty hazy out there, and it's because of those high clouds beginning to move in. But temperatures are still pretty chilly out there, but a little bit warmer than what we had a couple of hours ago. 46 in Santa Rosa, 45 in Roswell, 35 currently here in Metro at 35, and we still have 20 for the northern mountains. But again, this is way warmer than what we had this time yesterday. We're between 10 to 20 degrees warmer. We still have some breezy conditions, mainly in higher elevations, where you're anywhere between 5 to 15 miles per hour, and that'll continue through the rest of the afternoon as well. We're still going to see those warmer temperatures, but those clouds will begin to increase as we go throughout the afternoon. That might block out the sun as we get toward 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But we might have a couple of showers that try to develop here in the Boot Hill, maybe the southwestern part of the state, maybe in the higher elevations of the mountains down in South New Mexico. But the rest of today, the predicted highs look like this: 30s, 40s, and 50s are expected. 50 in Carlsbad for your high today, as well as Deming. Looking at 40s for Santa Fe and Albuquerque, and 48 for your high today. We'll be a little bit cooler because those clouds are reaching you first. We still have some more sunshine here in the metro. That's why we're going to be a little bit warmer. As we go into tomorrow, we'll be even warmer than what we have for the day by about 8 to 10 degrees, and breezy conditions will begin to develop here in the
Look at all that coming off on your computer. I can still clean that off better.
But most of us will remain dry and warm. Models have become a little bit more bullish on that idea of seeing some precipitation, even for tomorrow. And as you see, high-res futurecast shows here at 7 a.m. from Roswell up to Albuquerque. But we have a lot of dry air at the surface, so a lot of that is not going to reach the ground. Maybe a couple of flurries making it to the ground, but if you're in higher elevations like the Sandia and Manzana Mountains, you know, actually see a little bit of light snow from that, but not much in the way of any more accumulations. The beginning of the week looks pretty good for next week as well. Monday and Tuesday, the big deal here will be the winds that come from this system. Wednesday morning, we'll have a rain snow mix beginning here in the North Mountains, but you see the temperatures are going to be mainly above freezing. So for right now, we're not expecting much in the way of any kind of travel issues from that system next week. Like I said, mainly just a wind producer for sure. But for the southeast today, highs in the 40s and 50s. Clouds will continue to increase throughout the day. But look at that low 60s for your Saturday, upper 60s for your Sunday, low 70s as we get back to Monday and Tuesday. The southwest today, breezy at times as we get toward the afternoon. Highs in the 40s and 50s. Again, those high clouds will continue to come in throughout the day. Looking at the northwest and the four corner position, those clouds have already reached you. So highs are going to be a little bit cooler here, 30s and 40s out there.
Are you sure he didn't really rock that out? Or you didn't maybe split like that? Thank you, Joe.
Again on Tuesday. Mountains today, highs in the 30s and 40s, looking at 37 for both Chama and Los Alamos, low 40s for Santa Fe for your Friday, upper 40s for the beginning of your weekend for your Saturday, and a 10% chance tomorrow morning for a couple of flurries, but not expecting much in the way of any kind of accumulations if they do reach the surface. For the northeast today, highs in the 40s and 50s, looking at 51 for Santa Rosa today. For the east mountains, upper 30s and low to mid 40s, 41 in Edgewood, 42 in Harris, and living at the metro. It's going to feel a little bit warmer today, and I'll say a little bit, it's going to feel much nicer than what we had yesterday. We'll continue to increase as we go throughout the day. Not any kind of precipitation or anything. So tomorrow is mainly in the morning.
Some of the hottest videos on social media. There's videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us what she says. This one is for real. This one is for real, and I'm so excited. Not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance. Pros with eyes and wrinkles. We even have a video, and all he uses is to swallow out, and that's how easy it is. And I did this to my father. We were at home.
I guess this is the one that goes to it.
Completely gone. My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It's amazing. It feels good. It feels great. It looks even better.
At a $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work for yourself after your first application. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Wireless charging period under $100. Comes with an easy-to-use wireless charging dock. Plus, the atom has a 22% smaller design, so it's nearly invisible when worn in the ear. That's why we have over 250,000 happy customers. Each pair has a 45-day money-back guarantee. sugar or zero risk in trying them. Call 1-800-357-9156. That's 1-800-357-9156. Call 1-800-357-9156 or go to AudioHearing.com. Get your pair of audio and hearing aids for only $99.
Yeah. Sorry, but it's dirty. What I do? Not touch it again. What? What, honey? Take it off? What is it, the glare? Don't mess with it no more. Sit down, I need to. ABC, DEFG, HIJKLMNOP, pill of Xanax. Pill, you don't need another one of those yet. Ambien, Pepsi, Tom, gas, water. What are they talking about? Because you can't squint and expect me to know. It's one of your prescriptions? Gas. Not Imodium shit. Never again. You'll get the mild one. Not that big turd. I will not give you that. It stops you from going. You're not going no more. The green one. Yes, the green one. The green one. That works. Do you think that works? No.
After her accident, Sadie knew Keller and Keller.
I recommend Keller because they're good attorneys, always willing to help. They're planned, they're knowledgeable, and they made us feel like family.
You're seriously injured? You need the resources, experience, the power of Keller and Keller.
You're next to that. That's what we need. These attorneys who do fight for us New Mexians.
Call 1-800-2-KELLER. Keller and Keller. Statewide here in New Mexico. Attention. You may be eligible for hearing aids at little or no cost to you. Hearing difficulties.
No.
Enjoyable again. At the conclusion of this program, participants may qualify to keep these hearing aids at little or no cost. Please get a pencil and call now. Don't wait any longer. Even if you're not sure if you need hearing aids, don't miss this chance to qualify for hearing aids at little or no cost. Call now to participate in this special consumer trial program.